So good to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Of course, Jamison. It's so good to see you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you
Yes.
so much for the opportunity.
If you kind of want to just introduce yourself, I know also as we were speaking about shows, if you want to kind of just plug your show, you have an amazing show on Wednesday nights. If you want to just kind of talk about that, talk about yourself and things that, that are really important to you.
Absolutely. You guys, my name is Miss Monday Love. I have a show every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Feel free to come hang out with us. It's so much fun. It's a music show. I play the piano. I play covers. Usually it's like pop music, R&B. We do country, rock. Really anything I get my hands on, I like to play.
And see, that's the most amazing thing is when when you're a creative person like that, like you said, you're very talented keyboardist, pianist, and things like that. It's awesome to be able to try to explore all the different, creative paths that you can from a music standpoint. So that's certainly awesome. And like I said, guys, if you get a chance, please check her out on Wednesday nights. It's called In the Style of with her. It's amazing. Definitely got to check it out every Wednesday night, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So as we get into the topic this week about role models, we always try to have a different topic every single week, and we certainly try to touch on a lot of things that I think people can certainly appreciate in their life. And, when you think about the term role models, what does that come to your mind? What really sticks out to you when you think of a role model, or what that means to you, or maybe somebody in your life that you consider a role model?
To me, a role model is someone who carries very charismatic traits, someone who is confident, perhaps someone who we look up to.
Right.
And for me, the first person that pops up in my head is my dad, because he's very so first of all, he's my pastor,
right?
And he's also really smart. So I look up to him when I'm struggling in school, and I study a lot, y'all. I live in the library. School does not come easy for me. I'm one of those people that literally I have to, when it comes to music, school, anything that I do in life that I make look easy, it's hard. So I practice a lot with my music. I study a lot in school to be able to pass and have a high GPA. For my dad, he's one of those people that's just naturally
comes to him.
Yeah. Oh, I got it. And I'm I want to be like that.
Yeah. But sometimes, it's like that for some people. You have to really, put in a lot of energy and effort and work, and not to say that the people that it comes naturally to, that they don't do that. But sometimes, it's just a lot easier for them to, grasp and grab the concepts of what, we sometimes have to work a little bit harder for.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, to me, that's what a role model is. Someone who probably someone who can stay cool under pressure, because also on the flip side of it, I don't know what goes on in my dad's mind behind closed doors. He might be wow, this is really tough, but let me just try to keep it together so I can be a good role model too. So yeah, I would say he's my biggest role model. Trying to think of anyone else.
And see, that's the interesting thing is a lot of times when we have people that are, or what we consider role models in our own life, they don't necessarily consider themselves role models. So it's interesting how that works, because, they just look at what they're doing as just a regular, daily routine of just being themselves and things like that. But, and like you said, in reality, people that have those role model qualities and characteristics, they stand out. They're not just in the crowd, and they're not just, they're setting themselves apart from what everybody else is trying to do. And I think a lot of times that's what a role model can be. Is it's certainly important to have people look at you in that light, because it's certainly big shoes to fill. Like you said, I mean, your dad already has, I'm sure, a lot of pressure, being a pastor, being able to pastor a church or whatever he does. He already has a lot of pressure from being able to be that for a lot of different people. So for him to be able to also do that in his family life certainly says a lot about him as a person, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I look up to him. And growing up it's not really always like that at times.
Yeah,
But now in my adulthood, I can really look at him and be like, yeah, I'm
yeah.
like super thankful, super like, happy that I was like, Monday, don't cry.
No, you're fine. I mean, hey, that's what the show is all about. Being vulnerable, being honest, being able to share yourselves outside of the streaming, you know,
Yes.
walls of your iPhone and iPad, and really just be able to share yourselves with a lot of different people that certainly, may not feel as comfortable as themselves to be able to do that. But you certainly have a platform, and this is what this show's certainly about, is to, just let people see that it's easy to reflect and like, really grow through the act of gratitude and being very grateful for the opportunities to be able to talk about so many different topics each and every single week.
Yes, it is. This show is a blessing, like you said, to be able to have like a safe space to like vent or talk and reflect about your life, reflect about certain topics and things of that sort. Um, you know, so yeah, that's what a role model is to me, and that's definitely will be my biggest role model. Now, in the music world, I would say my biggest role model is Mariah Carey.
Okay.
100%. I love her. I saw her. I saw her 2 times last year in concert. One in Madison Square. That was like the best Christmas show I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sure.
And the other one was elsewhere. We don't need to talk about. But it was, I admire her because her voice is just like has such a huge range. And as a singer myself, I always try to like emulate those singers that utilize their whole range and their voice. Like the Bruno Mars's, Prince, Mariah Carey, singers like that just really utilize everything. So I feel like she's a good role model because she has a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And I look up to her and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I like that drip and I'm trying to get that drip too.
Yeah. I mean, she's certainly a role model for a lot of different, people that sing and are in the music industry. I know a lot of times her live performance at MTV Unplugged, I think in 1994, is considered one of the best live performances ever because, she had no, effects on her vocals or anything like that. It was pretty much just her and how much talent that she really has, from a falsetto standpoint and things like that. So, I know a lot of people personally that are really into music and how much they really kind of put her on a platform as far as being a role model, and not just as a music thing. She does a lot of stuff with charities and a lot of things that maybe her personal life has kind of overshadowed a little bit, but she still certainly does a lot of things for, women, battered women. I know she does a lot of things for charities for young girls and things like that. So I know that that's certainly important. And I know, like I said, a lot of people consider her to be such a huge role model and certainly a standard that they really look to as being golden. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you think about role models, you use the example of your dad. You use the example of Mariah Carey. Do you ever feel like that you may yourself personally be considered a role model to some?
Oh, that's a good question. um, I hope that one day maybe I can be.
Mm-hmm.
Being as though I'm so into music, I'm actually in school to learn how to like educate others with music specifically. So one day I'm hoping that I can be a really good role model to some kid somewhere.
Right.
But I haven't thought that I was a role model up to this. I don't know. Do you?
I mean, I think that I have been told that before in real life. I've actually also been told that before by some people on the app. And, it's certainly very gratifying and very humbling when people tell you that. They look at you as, someone that you try to, I don't know, carry yourself a certain way. I mean, you can only present yourself a certain way on a live streaming platform like this. People don't necessarily get to know you outside of the app, or a whole lot of people don't get to. I mean, obviously, I'm sure that you're very close with some people on the app, and just
Yeah.
like I'm close with some people on the app, actually off the app. And so very few people really get to see that side of you, as far as being, what's considered a role model. But, when someone certainly tells you that, and they look at you in that light of being, someone that is an example to others, whether it be from a streaming standpoint or whatever the case may be, it certainly is very gratifying to be considered, that, or just to have that title. Even if you don't consider yourself that, the fact that you're considered that in other people's eyes is certainly very just gratifying, and makes you be very, very appreciative of what, you're certainly trying to do, each and every single day.
Absolutely. I agree. And I would say I do feel like you're a good role model for this app, just because of the positivity in this show and the positivity that your stream always has. It's definitely a place where people can come and be themselves. People can come here and feel the positivity. And then, if they're having a rough day and they come through to, these positive streams, we can help build each other up and make each other happier, and just make the app like a better place.
I think it's certainly really important to have a role model, like, especially, being children, being people that are young, to be able to have someone to look up to. I just saw Juice just came in. She used a great example last week of Kobe Bryant, and how much of, he has certainly been a tremendous influence to so many different kids and things like that, especially to her, being, a woman and things like that. It certainly just shows that a lot of, sports figures and things of that nature can really be certainly a great impact to people every single day, and in ways that you don't even really know. I know when I was growing up, I considered Michael Jordan to be a tremendous role model. He was doing a lot of different things, both on and off the court. He was doing sneakers, at the time in the 80s. There weren't a lot of basketball players that really caught on to the sneakers and how much of a billion-dollar business that really was going to be. And for him to have that business mindset, to be able to kind of look forward and kind of get outside of basketball and think, look, this is the business, this is the vision, this is what I really want to see. And now, he's worth over $1 billion today. So, I mean, that's certainly, really impressive for him to, at least for me, being a, young kid, looking up to someone like that.
Yes, absolutely. I like what you said about the vision. A lot of the times our role models have visions. And speaking of vision, last year, towards the end of the year, was the first time I ever made a vision board. Because I was listening to some inspirational speakers, and they were talking about finding your purpose, really learning how to hone in on your craft, and really creating a vision board to show yourself, this is where I want to go in a couple years, or whatever years, however many months. So I created that, and slowly but surely you will see the power of manifestation through gratitude, like how your show gratitude, slowly those little things on that vision board and those goals that you have, when you write it down and you water those ideas, they will come to light. And you'll be shocked. You'll be looking at your journal oh my gosh, did I really write that 6 months ago and it happened? That's crazy.
And I think that certainly is a great way to become a role model. Like you said, to have a vision, to have a board, to have a certain set of, steps or standards that you're trying to get to, because, people see that you're growing. People see that you're trying to, get there with the vision. And then, certainly through that process, a lot of people can look at you as being a role model. And so, you may not even notice that you're doing that or accomplishing that. You have your own goals and own things that you're setting for yourself, whether, it be on the app or in life in general. But as you continue to, go through that and get to, certain things that you want to be, people will certainly, look at that as wow, that's certainly someone that I'd like to look up to. That's certainly something that I would like to accomplish, as I go through that every single day. So that's really important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
as you talk, as we were talking about, in your personal life with your dad being such a tremendous role model, has there ever been any, or maybe a handful of things that you consider wonderful advice from him that have stuck with you, from him being not just your father, but just as a role model that have really, maybe molded and shaped you as being a young woman to, where you're at today?
He always used to say, like, one thing he would say was always have good boundaries in life. He said, like, have good boundaries with your friends, have good boundaries in school, partying, whatever. Just create boundaries for yourself and you will go far. And I didn't understand that until like my late 20s. I was like, okay, yeah, Dad, cool. But then I got older and started to realize, like, wow, yeah, boundaries are very important because it goes along with the vision. If you know that you want to graduate, you want to start a business, or you want to move to a certain city, certain state, buy a house, whatever, you have to create boundaries for yourself so that you don't get off track and so that people don't sidetrack you, or certain events, certain behaviors don't sidetrack you. So I'm thankful that he gave me that advice.
That's amazing advice. That's amazing.
Boundaries will save you.
Yeah. I think in my own life, someone that I certainly looked up to as a role model was my grandfather. I look up to my dad just like you do yours, but in my life especially, my grandfather was such a tremendous role model in my life. He gave me a wonderful slice of advice that I also heard a really good friend of mine say that, his grandfather told him as well, is that you're only as good as your word. Yeah. And, that's really important. Like, when you think of that, even though that's very short and to the point, it certainly resonates a lot with a lot of different people, because you are only as good as your word. And people can't put a lot of confidence into what you're saying, or they don't really feel like that they can trust you with a lot of different things, then, you're no different than anything else. I agree. I didn't, like you said, I didn't really grasp that concept as I was younger. But the older you get and the more you experience that people maybe not necessarily are that way, it certainly makes you want to be that way in your own life and in the friendships and things that you're certainly trying to build with people every single day.
Absolutely. 100%. Like keeping a good word, that's your reputation. That's your light. That's the aura that you're exuding to everyone. And once you have a trustworthy aura, you're going to attract a lot of trustworthy people. And again, how we mentioned earlier, like, it just makes for a more positive experience in life.
It really does. Is there anything that you would like to say in closing to kind of, share with anybody, or just kind of touch back on, or anything that you have that you'd love to just have the floor with?
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, Jamison. I think what you're doing with this show is fantastic. Giving people time to say thank you. And I also want to encourage everybody, if you don't already, every day, make sure you say something out to the universe, God, whoever you believe in. Just give thanks for whatever you're thankful for. It could be as simple as, thank you for my health. Thank you for speech. Thank you for, earlier I was thankful that I could get up and go turn on the shower. Like, just little things that we take for granted. So thank you, Jamison, and congratulations on the show.
Well, thank you so much for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Please favor her. She's an amazing person. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of the show, because it's amazing. And we have such amazing people, and that's what makes the show. So a show on a Monday night. Such a positive, uplifting person. Please hit her with a favorite. She's amazing. Certainly just a great way to start out a show. Again, guys, she has an amazing show, In the Style of with Money Love. It's on Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please try to check her out. It's in a couple days. Try to be there and support her. She does a lot of amazing things on her own show. And, she certainly can, just be very, I'm sure, grateful for that as well. So thank you so much again for sharing about your dad and sharing about, how you look at Mariah Carey and things of that nature. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Guys, as we introduce this week's new topic, it's going to be friendships. that's the topic we're going with this week, about friendships. That's what the quote was kind of touching on, and how that's important, and how friendships can certainly mold and make you as a person, how you interact with people every single day, and how you really want to carry yourself, and what you define as being a friend, or what a friend means to you, or anything like that. So that's the topic that we're going to talk about this week. Wanted to introduce our guest this week. Her name is It's Jilly Baby. She's going to come up and talk about friendships and what that means to her. And I'm just, just like with Money Love Story, I'm excited to get into this. Hey, how are you? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too.
It's
Hi,
so good to see you.
everybody.
Thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. I know that you're probably busy and have a lot going on in your own life, but I certainly am grateful for you just taking the time to be here and sharing so many wonderful, amazing things that go on in your life. If you want to just kind of introduce yourself, you have an amazing show as well, but I'd certainly love for you to share that with everybody that's probably new to you.
Hi, everybody. It's Jilly Baby. Pleasure to meet everybody that I haven't met before. I do have a show on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Time called Entanglements. Love, you have the beautiful side of love, right? All the fun butterflies and things that happens. And then there's also a messy side of love. And at Entanglements, we have people come on and share their messy, complicated situationship relationship stories. We have a lot of fun. They share their stories. I map it out, and then I retell the story. So, we have a lot of love dating shows on the agenda, but then we have some fun on my side. You go to Blake's show, or you come to my show. Okay.
Well, just like with him and yourself, you both have very amazing shows and very wonderful, opportunities to do your own thing and for people to enjoy that, because I think there's a lot of amazing, content on the app that people can certainly take the time to continue to support each and every single week. There's this, there's that, there's cooking, there's all kinds of stuff that people can find to really support and really get behind.
Variety.
So, yeah, I love what you're doing. I love what Blake's doing. I love what Money's doing. And there's just a lot of amazing things on this app for sure.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
What does friendships mean to you when you hear that? What really comes to your mind when you first hear that saying of friendships? What does that really mean to you? What sticks out?
So for me, when I think of friendships, you told me the topic, the biggest, the quote that I always think of is you have two families, right? The one that you were born with, and then the one that you choose. Mm-hmm. And the one that you choose are the people that you call your friends, right? The people that, aren't with you because you're related or tied to you for any reason, but they're with you out of choice, right? And, out of, I guess that sticks out to me more, it's out of choice, right? You kind of find your tribe, where you find the people that, whether it be at a point in your life or your entire life, for a season or for a lifetime, these are the people that choose to be with you, right? Flaws and all, through anything that you go through, these are the people that, for whatever reason, connect with you, love you, and want to be there with you in this journey of life, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think sometimes, like you said, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you say that you choose, because, sometimes, or sometimes it chooses you, or you choose that. It's just, that's funny how life works, that you can get in situations that can bring out the best in you, that can, mold you and shape you to be a better, father, husband, wife, mother. It certainly can just mold you to be where you want to be, and realize that there certainly can be a lot of doors that can open up that you may not necessarily even knew existed, or that you already thought were closed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think like those people, you have friends that can expose you to, new things, new ideas, that influence you and encourage you, that, what did they say, like birds of a flip, birds of a flip flock together,
Right.
so, you start hanging around certain people, or you engage in friendships with people that may possibly be into entrepreneurship, or doing something that can open your eyes up and encourage you to try something new,
Right.
and also to push you to be, a better version of yourself, right?
Yeah. I agree, because I think that when you push the boundaries, you kind of get outside the box. You might get outside the element that you're used to all the time, and you can certainly realize that there's just this, explosion of opportunity to surround yourself with amazing people, to make yourself a better person, to create opportunities for yourself that, like you said, you may not necessarily even knew that were there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's like I think the most powerful thing, and I always keep saying that word, right? Just the power of choice, right? Because I think if we're all very reflective, right? And you're self-aware that we have flaws, and we know ourselves enough to be like, oh, I'm kind of a difficult person, or, we have a tendency to have defense mechanisms where we just kind of, we push people away, and friends are the people that say, you know what, like, even though you're saying this, I'm still, if you're pushing me away, or if you're trying to do this, I still choose to be here and be by your side, or help you through this, right? Or I'm not going to take, no, I don't want to talk for an answer, right? Because I'm your friend and I love you beyond this, right? This is a relationship that's more than just what you can give me, right? A real friendship, right? A real friendship isn't just about what you can get from somebody else, right? I'm doing this because I love who you are and I want to see you succeed. Or friends see the things in you that you can't see in yourself.
Absolutely. I think a lot of times too, people tend to forget that, real friends are not the people there for you that when it's always butterflies and clouds in the sky. It's when you have issues in your life, things that you struggle with, things that you are going through that are tough, that are still there for you. They may not offer advice. They may not do anything other than just listen. But the fact that they're there just listening and being, maybe a shoulder to lean on, or, something to cry on, or just something like that. Those are the types of friendships that I certainly need in my life each and every single day, because it shapes me to be a better person. It makes me realize that, when it is tough, that you're going to go through some hardships, that there are people around you that are going to be there for you when, life hits the fan. Because we all know that it's going to, whether it be, sickness, whether it be people in your life that can get sick, family members and things like that, with COVID going on with a lot of people, the financial struggles that people are dealing with. Mm-hmm. I think that when you go through that kind of stuff, when you get on the other side of the tunnel, when you really see the light, those are the people that are there for you, certainly, that can understand and know that, hey, look, this is what he or she was going through, and I'm still there for you.
Yeah. And I think like in life, one of the most powerful things you can do is like showing up, right? Like life in general is about showing up, right? Showing up every day, showing up for yourself. And it's so powerful when you show up for somebody else, right? Like you show up. It's not about, being late, but showing up when somebody needs you. Like you forget the power in that. So for me personally, about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus, and I got really sick, and I didn't tell anybody. Like I just kept it all in until I was finally diagnosed and figured out what happened, and I needed help. Like I was just kind of disappeared for months. I had all of these medical bills, and I just put it out there, right? I just put it out there like, okay, guys, this is what's been happening. I need help. And the most powerful thing was seeing people show up, like seeing people that I had no idea still kept up with me, were some of my friends. Just show up. Give money is a whole other thing, but just show up, right. Just to step up and say, I'm here for you. And we forget that it's not about the material things, right? It's about a real friendship is like simply just being there, right? Yes. Just being there. Just literally, physically, or just emotionally, just being there. because a lot of people don't have that, right? And that's more meaningful. Your time is the most valuable thing. If people come to my stream, I say that all the time. They get tired of me saying that, right? But time is like the one thing you can give and you can never get back.
Well, it's so
right?
true.
So if I'm giving,
it's so true.
You know,
it's so true.
It's the one thing I can give and can never get back. So if you give me your time, that's priceless, right? And that should be held with, regard and much more value than anything else you could physically give me. And that's a real friendship, right? I'm choosing to give you, my time, one of the most valuable things I have.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're new to the stream right now, this is a show that we do every single Monday. It's called Gratitude. It's a show about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week we have guests that recall circumstances, people, memories that have humbled them to help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And that's certainly what we're doing right now. We heard an amazing story from Money Love about role models and what it certainly meant in her life. And as we transition to talking to It's Jilly Baby about, what friendships really mean to her and how it's been such a tremendous impact in her life, is certainly for me very gratifying to hear that, because, a lot of people, sometimes are friends with the wrong people, and it causes them to put up walls. It causes them to, shy away, maybe kind of be more of an inward person. But, when you have great friends, when you have great people that come in and out of your life, it certainly makes you want to be a better friend, better person. And, I've always been a firm believer in, in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend. If you don't put a lot of energy and effort, into being a great friend, don't expect to get a lot out of that. Plain and simple. If you don't try to call, if you don't try to go in someone's stream, if you don't try to give someone a text message or something like that, then, you can't expect them to always be there for you. You can't just take all the time. You certainly have to give a little bit,
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's what he's like, you gotta, what do they say? You gotta be the change you want to see. You have to manifest those things in your life by being that, right? Like, how can you expect something if that's not something that you can give, right? A door, when you open a door, right, it opens both ways, right? It goes
Yes.
both ways in that type of space and situation. And you can't expect a good friend if you aren't going to make the attempt to be a good friend, right? Or at least, and you attract, right? You attract what you are, right? Energy is always moving, and you attract that type of energy, right? And so if you want good things around you, then you need to have good energy. You need to put out good energy and be a blessing to somebody else, right? I say, if you want blessings, you should be a blessing to somebody else. I think my ex-boyfriend's mom used to say, if you're ever in a bad mood, do something nice for somebody else and see if that doesn't change your energy and your mood, right? So same thing when you deal with people. I can't sit and ask the universe or God or whatever I believe in to bring me all of these things if I'm only going to take and not also do that as well.
I think that you made a great point, that you certainly have to surround yourself with the right people. You don't necessarily have to be around the most perfect people, because we're certainly not perfect ourselves. We all have things in our life that we certainly struggle with and things like that. But, if you try to make the effort to surround yourself with the right people and the right positive energy, like you're saying, it brings a lot of great and wonderful energy, I think, out of us. And the relationships that we have every single day can be certainly based off of the friendships and the people that we have in our own life.
Right. And let's be honest, right? It should feel good, right? Like, if you're around good people and you're a good friend, like, it should feel good. Like, if we're really honest with ourselves, we know when things aren't right. We know when things don't feel good. And sometimes you get stuck in this, like, well, even in a friendship, right? Well, we've been friends for so long and done so much for me and this, and just because it was good at one time doesn't mean it's going to be good forever. And sometimes things just, that's also about being good to yourself, right? And it is also understanding and knowing when, hey, maybe this wasn't a lifetime situation, right? This was a seasonal situation. Right. And being a good friend is also knowing when to either step back, you know, and take care of yourself. Or, you know, telling a friend, you know, hey, maybe you're not hanging around the right people, you know, being a good friend on that aspect, you know, to yourself and to people around you. But definitely about understanding that. And I always try to say, like, you know, you find the right people, they, you know, you would say, the ones that matter don't mind, and the ones that mind don't matter. You know,
Wow.
kind of you do anything in life, right? Like if you're doing something, right, the people that matter won't mind what you're doing, but the people that mind, it don't matter. You know, those are the people that are gonna, you know, come and go.
Yeah. When you kind of talk about friendships and things like that, when you've obviously, you know, you've made such a wonderful connection of people on this app. What does that mean to you when you think about the people that you've met off here? Because I know that obviously you stay in touch with people. You obviously, you know, maybe you've met people before in real life. How does that certainly change your definition of a friendship to where you're certainly limited to just a phone screen or a computer screen or an iPad screen? Well, how does that feel for you to change from that to meeting someone to be able to embrace them and hug them and be like, hey, wow, this is what brings us all together to finally connect the pieces?
Man, this is gonna make me like cry. I'm gonna like, I will be 100% honest. Like this app and the people that I have been able to connect with have made me really believe that the type of friend that I think people should be and the type of friends that I strive to have really do exist, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
So, you know, like I think the great thing about this app is it's like a protective way to be open, right? Because I'm over here on my side and I'm on my, and you know, I can kind of control this and I can keep myself safe and kind of in that space. And then I can choose when to, you know, who to talk to, who to keep in my stream and kind of, you know, still be myself. And I've been able to make like some amazing connections with an amazing group of people. I continue to meet more people. One of the things I love about the stream is, you know, everybody that comes in my stream, I'm like, yeah, we're friends, you know, like I want to get to know you, or if I can be that friend for somebody else, right? Even if it's just on a screen, for them to wake up and come on and see my stream and they're just like, oh, I can come and talk to my, like that's the real stuff of life, right? Is the connections and being able to help each other. And, you know, life, our individual lives and life outside of this is hard by itself, right? So the last thing we need to do is like get on some electronic and make it any worse for anybody else or to make things any harder, right? You never know what each other's going through. Somebody's always going through something, always, always, always. So if we get to connect right here, like for whatever this moment is or this time that we're here, we can make it great. We can make it positive. We can make it beautiful. And then when we shut it off, we can go deal with all the other crap that comes along that, you know what I mean? With everything else.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better myself, because like you said, this can be certainly, and friendship really goes to that a lot too, is an escape from what you're dealing with in life, whether it be kids, whether it be, you know, your job, and things like that going on. You know, this is a wonderful platform and a wonderful opportunity to help people make your life better, for you to make their life better, for it to be a constant cycle and circle of positivity and energy and things that certainly not only just bring out the best in our lives, but what we can bring out in their lives. And I think something like Playlist and some of these meet and greets that people have, that's the glue that brings it all together. Right. Like this is such the platform and the opportunity. But then when you see and you're hugging people and you're sharing dinner or you're sharing drinks together, it's like, man, that's what this is all about. It's not all about the diamonds. It's not all about the gifts. It's the friendships, the connectivity that you can have, the conversations. You know, that's what matters to most, or at least it does for me anyway.
No, it shouldn't. But that's humanity, right? That's what regular life should be like on a
Right.
regular basis, right? Because that's what it is, right? I give good energy to you, you pay that forward, and that comes back around, and it's just this, you remember that, what is that, like that insurance commercial, right? Where like somebody drops something and somebody helps her pick it up, and somebody sees that person do that good deed. So they're like, oh, and then they do something nice and somebody sees that, and it just goes and goes and goes and goes,
It's
right?
a
And it
trickle
makes its way
effect. Yeah.
around. Like that's what all of this like should be, right? It should be that. It should be space for that, because like, it was Drake's song, right? We're here for a good time, not a long time, right? So why should any second of time be spent not doing something without a positive purpose behind it, right? If it doesn't feel good, if it's not right, then on to the next. Let's spend this time that we have doing what makes us happy, what brings joy to others, and continues to contribute to a more positive space and a positive life. Life is very short. Life is very finite.
I completely agree. I think that if we took a closer look at, realizing that time is precious and it certainly is valuable, and what you choose to spend that time or who you spend it with, I think when we can get that concept down to understand that that's certainly important in our life, and how all that works together with friendships and the topic we're talking about, I think that we can have certainly a lot more open vision about, what we're looking for in life and friendships and connections every single day.
Right. Absolutely. And that's what makes life fun, right? That's the
Yes.
fun stuff that you look forward to, and you get up and you smile about it, and you're just like, man, I met this person. It's great. I met amazing people off of this, amazing people that, I probably call more than I call my mom now at this point, but don't tell my mom I said that, but I mean,
It's the truth. It's the truth.
but that I pick up my phone and be like, oh, let me call this person, or get on a group chat and get in the group text, be like, what are you doing, or just checking up on people, just checking up on the friendships that we made, and just to know, or to get a message from somebody, right? Hey, where you at? You doing okay? We haven't seen you.
Yeah. In closing, as you've certainly shared just a tremendous, story of what friendship means to you, what advice do you have that you can offer to anybody that maybe is struggling right now with some friendships in their life? What advice or what thing could you really tell them to continue to try to work on that maybe can help improve their life, their friendships, their relationships with people maybe on the app, people off the app? What certainly a little bit of advice can you give to them?
I will always tell everybody, everything starts from within, right? So anytime when it comes to friendships, it comes to life, like we always have a tendency to just try to search for what's causing that and what's causing that. And the reality is, like, you are in control, right? You're in control of your how you choose to react, how you choose, it may not feel like that sometimes.
Right.
But when you're struggling in those areas, I'm always a big proponent of searching within and self-reflecting, right? What are the things that I can control and the things that I can't control? And when it comes to friendships and people that are around, I often have to sit back and be like, okay, where am I? What am I feeling right now? Where am I at right now? And if I feel like I'm having an issue with a friend, what am I doing in this situation, right? Like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, well, I've been distant. I haven't been calling. I haven't been doing this. So I really, is it my friend or is it me? I'm always going to say, self-awareness is key, and to always look within before you look outward. Always look within yourself. And like the real ones will be there. And then the second thing, if you're having problems with friends, people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? People don't know what they don't know. So if you're having issues with a friend, like, you got to speak up.
Right.
And I'm not the best at it. I'm getting better at it. But you got to speak up, right? And you got to let your friends know. You got to let people know what's going on with you. You got to let people know what's going on with you, and give people opportunity to be there. Give your friends an opportunity to be a friend. Yeah. One last thing I wanted to share, just off of what Monday was talking about vision boarding. and manifesting before we go, right? So in my life, every Monday, we do what I call Goal Call Mondays, okay? So people come to my live and I ask them to give me a goal for the week. It can be a personal goal, it can be a streaming goal, and we write it down on a sticky note and I put it on my goal wall. And all week we check in and we ask each other and we follow it. Well, I follow people around and say, hey, how are you doing on your goal? So then it turns into this big thing where we mark it off. You know, like last week we marked off a bunch of goals. So I cross them off with X's and we save them. And at the end of the year, we kind of reflect. But I encourage you all, either come by on Mondays or start doing this yourself. Manifesting does work. You know, it's not a vision board for a month, but every week we check goals off and we knock them off little by little. So definitely find a way to manifest for yourself, or come to my live and I'll help you manifest. But definitely, you know, it's real. And, you know, good friends on this board all keep each other in check every week.
Wow, what a great attitude that is. Guys, I hope you got a pencil and paper out, because that's some amazing advice, taking notes. I mean, that's just such a wonderful idea to share that. And like you said, I mean, just the manifestation of it is just, it's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I don't even know what to say. It's been such a pleasure to have you and Monday on here. It's been such a great conversation, just a great opportunity to not only share the great, amazing topics that we have, but to certainly get to know both of you beautiful women on a more personal level as well.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on. I know I just jumped in your box and was like, hey, I want to be on your show.
No, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
So I appreciate the platform and the opportunity. Thank you so much, Jamison.
Thank you so much for being here.
All right. See ya.
Wow. Guys, please hit her with that favorite. Such an amazing person. Monday Love, such an amazing person, guys. We had two amazing guests on here, like we do every single week. Just people sharing such vulnerable, amazing stories about their life, the opportunities, the things that come up. And it's so great and so gratifying to be able to share that. Just to kind of reflect with you guys, see what you guys' thoughts are as we're about to finish reading the quote that we had for this week. It's, family isn't always blood. It's the people in your life who want you and theirs. The ones who accept you for who you are. The ones who should do anything to see you smile and love you no matter what. Let's say that one more time, guys. Family isn't always blood. It's the people in your life who want you and theirs. The ones who accept you for who you are. The ones who would do anything to see you smile and love you no matter what. That's how we're going to end the show, guys, with that amazing quote. Just to kind of let you know, thank you so much for being here. It was a great show, great people, great guests. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for the support each and every single week. We try to do something different. We try to do something so amazing. To let you know the next week's topic, it's going to be the power of music. And I certainly have an amazing guest for that. I know music can be such a great thing in people's lives, how much that means to them, how gratifying, how that can change their life, how that can be so much different when you have music. I know music is certainly a huge thing in my life as well. And I just certainly cannot wait and I'm super excited to get into that with such an amazing guest and even the reflection for next week too on friendships for this person. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy Monday. That's the show. If you're ever interested in, and they're trying to work that out right now for the social media. If you're ever interested in being on the show, you can certainly hit me with a DM. You can certainly reach out. We'll try to be in touch a little bit more on Instagram. I'll give you that. And we'll try to see if we can get some new guests for the upcoming weeks and months to come. So got a lot of amazing things in store, a lot of wonderful topics to discuss with you guys. And again, thank you so much for being here. What a show. Wow. There we go. Whoo. Let's go. Post show. Let me change this photo, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, let me see those pinky fingers. Woo! Speaking of music. Guess who's back again? Let's go. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. Post show. Guys, how was the show? Just send me that wheel. Thank you. Blake, thank you, brother. Now, let's get it. Whiskey, thank you. Can I preach? Good money. Woo woo. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's go. Brenda, what's up? Woo! Guys, we're almost at 22.2. Let's go. Candy, thank you. Guys, if you're new here, please hit me with that favorite. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Monday, thank you so much. Jilly, thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you for all the support. Appreciate y'all. Yo, thank you, man. Hi, Lynch, what's up? Let's go. I know, right? Such amazing people. Let's get it. Like I said, anybody interested in ever being on my show, please hit me with that message.